These days it seems like we're all affected by this in some form or fashion, but if you have a tendency to gather fat around your waist, then you will know how difficult it is to lose weight and to stay slim, and more importantly, once it's there, to get rid of it.
Yes, indeed. Well, excess weight stored around your waist is more dangerous than fat on your thighs or your bottom, increasing your risk of diabetes, cancer and other diseases. And here to tell us how carefully choosing what we eat can help keep off that weight for good is nutritionist Dr. Marilyn Glenville. Good morning, Marilyn.
Good morning, Anna.
I suppose it's a big topic of conversation at the moment, the fat around the middle, because we have this Safe Food campaign as well, which I'm sure you're aware of. So everyone has these measuring tapes. They're distributed to pharmacies nationwide, and we're all much more aware of it. But why is it more dangerous to carry weight in your middle?
Because around the middle of the body, that fat is actually active. The fat that sits around the pear shape, around the hips, is inactive fat. Yes, people don't like it, but it just sits there doing nothing. The fat around the middle is active. It actually pumps out hormones like estrogen, so increases the risk of breast cancer for women. It pumps out substances that can raise blood pressure. It causes higher cholesterol. It can change the way we process sugar in the body, so increases the risk of diabetes and other cancers as well. So it's a very active fat, and it's close to the liver, the major arteries, so it's very different around the middle of the body, and that's why this waist measurement, also waist to hip ratio, is really important. Rather than just weight, it's where that weight is sitting that is crucial for health.
Why are we acquiring it around the middle, and why is it becoming more prevalent?
Well, our diet adds to it, of course, but I think also myself, and that's why I've written Fat Around the Middle, it's driven by one of the stress hormones, cortisol, that we are under a lot more pressure nowadays. Stress from outside, but our pattern of eating, our blood sugar goes on a roller coaster during the day. We often skip meals. We may be living on a bit of caffeine to get us through lunchtime, and that increases the stress response, and the body's putting it around the middle because it's close to the liver and the major arteries, and it can get at this energy quickly. Too far away down at the hips, it wants to be able to access it. It's almost like having storage there because it perceives that our life could be in danger.
So it's a handy snack for the body.
Yes, it is,
like
but we're not running or fighting for our lives. We're fielding phone calls, we're rushing around, we're missing meals, we're not eating well, and we're piling all this on like a survival mechanism.
It's an interesting little parallel for how we're getting it in the first place as well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
What about the measurements? I was quite shocked, actually. Is it 32 for a woman's waist and 37 for a man?
Yes.
36, I thought.
36?
Yeah, I'm open to correction.
I'm giving you that extra inch, just in case. But we're used to looking at people of that size, and we wouldn't necessarily perceive them as overweight.
I know, and that's the thing. You could do body mass index and somebody could be completely normal.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty with body mass index. It doesn't differentiate between fat and muscle. So you can have an athlete and a couch potato with the same BMI. So it's not a good measurement. And it is that waist measurement, waist to hip ratio, where that fat is situated, that may not make them overweight. And you will even see young girls who look fairly slim walking down the high street with this muffin top over the top of the jeans. And yes, they're a young age, but if they carry on like that, it's going to be dangerous for them.
Okay, so what do we need to do to get rid of it, Marilyn?
Well, we
$1 million question.
We have to look at what we eat, and I'm also over here for the whole of next week in Cavan, Galway, Cork and Dublin, trying to help people understand why it's going on around the middle and help them get rid of it, because that's the most important thing. It's unhealthy. So it is looking at how we eat, it's what we eat and also how we eat as well. So timing makes a difference. Missing meals isn't good. I know people think, oh, if I miss lunch, I've missed out those calories, but our body is really clever. If it thinks there's a famine going on, it's going to hold on to fat, and sometimes that skipping a meal can actually make us fatter and slow down our metabolism, because the body thinks, well, maybe there isn't enough food around. So it's really little and often, eating well, thinking about cutting out this added sugar, refined carbohydrates that gives a quick fix in the body, but it doesn't last long enough.
Well, we all know about about the quick fix and sugar highs and lows and all that. But once it's there, And I mean, I've spent 30 years in and out of gyms, and if I had £1 for every time I heard some personal trainer say to some lady who's got a bit more around the middle than she would like, we'll do a bit of spot reduction on that. Now, real health pros will tell you that's nonsense, but you know, some people tell clients what they want to hear. Explain why spot reduction doesn't work and why people shouldn't be gullible enough to believe it does.
Because you're not aiming to target one place in the body. We're aiming to change fat percentage overall. Yes, you can get rid of it around the middle, but exercise, and oftentimes people are doing the wrong exercise because they go on a treadmill maybe for 20 minutes and actually if you do the same steady state for that amount of time, the body will get energy from our muscles. It doesn't get it from our fat stores. And sometimes we have to shock the body with exercise. So you're not spot reduction, you're doing that, you're right, you're actually trying to shock the body into putting on a bit more muscle mass, burning fat instead of getting energy from the muscles. So sometimes the exercise has to be very different, especially for women. If you walk into a gym, men will be on the weights, women will be on the treadmill and the cross trainer. We tend to think it a bit unfeminine to put on a bit of muscle, but muscle is metabolically active. It burns fat. So the more muscle we have, we will burn fat all over, and especially around the middle. But muscle weighs more than fat, and so people can say, well, this isn't working, I'm heavier, and that's why weight itself is not good.
I think your clothes are probably a much better indicator than the numbers on the weighing scales.
Yes, and that's why the tape measure works. And muscle takes up 5 times less space than fat.
Okay.
So we put on a bit of muscle, the waist goes in, tape measurements go down, and we're changing not only, yes, how we look, but we're changing our future health as well.
But it is funny though, Marilyn, how people can look in the mirror and like what they see, and look at the scales and not like what they see, and not be able to reconcile the two.
Yes, and that's why the waist measurement or being able to measure body fat percentage is really important, because it is trying to, you know, help somebody understand that some people may be in the normal range and they don't need to do anything, and it's then more of perception of how they look. And that's often the case with underweight women. You know, they may feel that actually they've got to lose more weight and they shouldn't. So our perception of how we are and acceptance of that is important.
Fat Around the Middle of the book, obviously in all good bookstores, but you're on the road around the country. You're in Cavan, Galway, Cork and Dublin, starting from, is it what? I can't even actually read.
Yes, from Monday.
Where are we? There isn't a date there.
Is there not?
Yeah, Monday the 5th.
Monday the 5th.
Yes, I'm here all next week, which is really exciting.
Grand, and that runs
on the website is for more details. Well, there's loads of other things in the seminars as well, anti-aging and fertility linked to nutrition, which is a huge area now as well.
I know,
isn't it?
and it really is helping couples who may be struggling to get pregnant, and also those who are going for IVF where maybe they've had 2 failed attempts. You can use nutrition to boost the success rate.
Great.
Thank you very much,
Marilyn. Thank you, Marilyn.
Now, still to come, she wowed us all with her show-stopping dress. Well, it was more her knobbly knee that got my eye than anything else. But she did look effortlessly chic. And we're going to show you how you can recreate Angelina Jolie's glamorous hairstyle shortly. Did you know that her leg now has its own Twitter account?
I heard that, yes. They're calling it Leg Gate.
Yeah. I call it fools have nothing better to do with their time.
Well, that's true, yes. Plus, we'll be taking a look at 6 stylish looks to suit women who are that bit taller.
Now, let's take the news. Here's Siobhan.